All right, everybody. I'm here. I know you all want to get the information. What's going on with these explosive revelations? Let me see if you're here now. Give me some hearts. Okay, there's Jeffrey Ali is watching. All right. Who else do I have here? Okay, John Shabazz. All right, John Shabazz. There's my man Monty. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters who have supported me and helped me do this work. Peace, brother. Peace, Jeffrey. We got a lot to talk about. Actually, to tell you the truth, I'm going to be very succinct and very controversial stuff. Very controversial stuff. That's why it's taking me some time to come before you. I wanted to, collect my thoughts and make sure that I'm very, very careful in what I say tonight. You all know I get going. Reggie, Fabian, Eddie Banks is watching. Okay, I get cooking when I see the hearts and the thumbs up, man. So, okay, I'm starting to see some of those hearts and thumbs ups coming up. We've got a big story before us. A big story related to the assassination of Malcolm X. And I'm going to share with you my initial thoughts about it. About these developments. It was at Demario, Washington, and Ilani Patmos, and there's Monty. These are some explosive allegations. Absolutely explosive and really earth-shaking allegations, revelations. And so I have to be very, very cautious about what I say, okay? Because there's legalities involved, okay? There's legalities involved, and let me get into that. I'll get into that in a minute, okay? Cortez Hood, okay. Here we go. All right, guys. Let me start. I'm not going to be here a long time tonight because the more I talk, the more I tend to say things that I may not have wanted to say. And I can't afford to do that on this topic. It is very, very hot. Okay? It's a hot time in the city right now. And these are some very, very explosive allegations, explosive revelations or alleged revelations. And the reason it's taken me a couple of days, as I said, is because I had to kind of formulate what I would share with you tonight and what I'm not allowed to share with you tonight. Okay? I had to be cautious, careful, objective, and at the same time, be truthful. Okay? So what is the story? The story is that there is a deathbed confession that has ostensibly been written by a former bossy police officer. When I say bossy, we mean the Bureau of Special Services and Investigations, the ultra-secretive wing of the New York City Police Department that acted like a kind of a FBI within the New York City Police Department, okay? It was ultra secret. Ultra secret. One of its operatives a man by the name of Ray Wood. He was carrying, it is said in this letter, that he was carrying around with him a terrible guilt of the role that he played and that the FBI played and that the New York City Police Department played in the assassination of our dear brother, El Hajj Malik El Shabazz Malcolm X. This letter that he wrote was a deathbed confession. He said that he felt that the end was near. Turns out that it wasn't as near as he thought it was because he had something of a relapse. But Ray Wood said he had stomach cancer and he had to correct the historical record. And he also wanted to make sure that the brothers that he had falsely implicated and wronged and had arrested and served time would be exonerated at sometime in the future after he had passed away. The letter is dated 2011. However, he just, according to his cousin, Reggie Wood, he just passed away, I think, this last November. Okay, so he admits to following the directives of his handlers, the New York City Police Department, that he set up, engaged some of the brothers, at least two that he named by name, who were followers of Malcolm, who were supporters of Malcolm, who were in his organizations, that he enticed them into some type of plot to blow up the Statue of Liberty. And he orchestrated it in such a way that they would be arrested only days before the assassination of Malcolm X, with the full knowledge, at least of the department anyway, that these men were critical to Malcolm's security detail, especially at the door. And that the absence of these men, the arrest of these men in this bogus bomb plot days earlier took them off of the scene, take them out of the Autobahn Ballroom on the 21st of February 1965, and leave Malcolm even that more exposed to the murderous firepower of the Nation of Islam members who carried out the hit. And yes, I say it just like that, okay? Because there's a little campaign going on right now to exonerate the nation, and I'm going to deal with that in a second. So, I mean, that's the broad outlines of it. That this letter was read this past Saturday. February 21st, the letter was given by Reggie Wood, the cousin of Ray Wood, who had, Ray had bequeathed this letter to his nephew to be read after his demise. And so this press conference was called. Reggie Wood read the letter, and then he gave the letter to three of Malcolm's daughters, Sister Ilyasa, Sister Kabila, and Sister Gamila. And he also gave the letter to the district attorney for the city of New York, Cyrus Vance. Okay? And he did this ostensibly in the cause of justice and to, clear his heart for the guilt that he had been carrying all of these decades. Okay, that's the broad outlines of the story. I'm trying to be as general as I possibly can. Because as you know, we are eagerly awaiting an exoneration for Brother Muhammad Abdul Aziz, who was known in 1965 as Norman 3X Butler. And we show in the series that he and Thomas 15X Johnson, also known as Khalil Islam, were wrongfully arrested and convicted for the assassination of Malcolm X and served over 20 years of their life in prison for a crime that they did not commit. All right? And so we want the brother to be exonerated. Brother Muhammad. Brother Khalil Islam, Thomas 15 X Johnson, unfortunately, he passed away in 2009. And I was, at that time, trying to help him get exonerated. It was so pitiful to watch it because he was ill. He was in financial straits. And I just, we were many, many, many years away from making the revelations that we make in Who Killed Malcolm X. And I didn't have the heart to tell him that I didn't think he was going to live long enough to see it happen, sadly. And that was a very grim thing to watch, dear brothers and sisters. I helped him, as best that I could at that time. But you all know, my situation. I'm just a working guy, just like you all, and all I could give was moral support. In fact, to tell you the truth, I guess I can tell it now. Thomas 15 X Johnson, Khalil Islam, didn't even know the identity of the shotgun assassin. I'm the one who told him the identity of William X. Bradley, Al-Mustafa Shabazz. That's right. It's me who did that, okay? And he promised to protect my identity, and he checked it out. And then he called me, and he said, brother, I wanted to thank you for that. I had my guys go out and check it out. And yes, you were right about that, but I will never mention your name, and I will protect your identity. This is Thomas 15 X Johnson. And brothers and sisters, let me share this with you. Please do not call me or text me or try to enter the live, okay, when I'm speaking. It's very distracting. So that's the broad outline of the story. Now, here's what I'd like to say about all of this. First of all, these claims will have to be checked out. All right. The New York City Police Department said that they have turned over all of the files related to the assassination of Malcolm X, including the Bossy files, the Bureau of Special Services and Investigation. They said that they have turned it over to the district attorney. And the truth of the matter is they did that a long time ago, or some time ago, all right, related to the case of Muhammad Abdulaziz, Norman 3X Butler, and Thomas 15X Johnson. Okay? They're not going to take it at face value. They're going to vet it. You will notice in that letter that Ray Wood talked about his handler asked him to do this, or made him do this. His handler made him do that. His handler conceived of the idea of this plot against the Statue of Liberty and so on. But you notice he never names who these handlers are. Okay? He could have done that, but he didn't. All right? Really doesn't matter in this sense that the NYPD know who his handlers were. The district attorney will know who his handlers were. They will easily be able to vet this letter, to approve its contents, to verify the veracity of what is claimed in that letter. You see what I'm saying? So we let them handle that. All right? We'll let them handle that. What I want to say is this. What we did in Who Killed Malcolm X stands on its own. It stands on its own. Okay? The case we made in the series that the assassination of Malcolm X was the result of a confluence or an intersection of three independent bodies. J. Edgar Hoover's infamous FBI, the New York City Police Department, who hated Malcolm to the core, and the Nation of Islam, who were the actual triggermen who have, the blood on their hands for pulling those weapons, firing those weapons that ripped through the body of Malcolm X. Okay? That is what we've always maintained. That is what I have always maintained, that it was three separate entities that had their own motives for wanting Malcolm gone. And those three motives all came together in one place, okay? And it resulted in the murder of our dear brother, Malcolm X, okay? We have never said it's just one group and not the other group. That's an old trick. One group will point the finger at the other group. The other group will point the finger back at the other group. Okay? These two fingers point back at that one. So the FBI will point to the nation. The nation will say the government did it. They'll say, this one did it and that one did it. That's an old tactic in law. Confuse the jury, right? So if you have multiple defendants in a trial, right? This is an old tactic in law. Each one of these defendants will point the finger at the other defendant. Said, no, it wasn't me. It was he who did it. Then the other one will point the finger back. No, it wasn't me. It was he who did it. And by the time they go back and forth, they create so much doubt in the jury's mind that it becomes impossible to convict, because you've created now, a reasonable doubt. I don't know if it could be this one, it could be that one, it could be this one. We cleared all of that up for you. We told you all three of the parties involved in the assassination of Malcolm X. The FBI, the New York City Police Department, and the Nation of Islam, as far as we're concerned, as far as I'm concerned, they are all equally guilty. And that has always been the claim. That has always been our position. Okay? They're all equally involved. And we showed you that. We demonstrated that very clearly. All right? We made it very clear, meticulously clear, line by line by line. Interviews with people who were around at that time, who knew exactly how it went down. Okay? And no one has come forward in over a year now to refute anything in that series. The only ones that are refuting it are the ideologues in the Nation of Islam, for their own reasons. How can you claim to be the preeminent black organization? How can you make this claim when your organization is responsible for liquidating the most powerful black man this country has ever produced? How do you ever wash away that dark, dirty stain, that filthy stain? How? So the only thing they can do is keep, denying their role. Deny. Against all of the facts, against all reason. Okay? And that's what they're doing now. They're seizing upon this letter, okay, to claim that the Nation of Islam is totally innocent of the murder of Malcolm X. All right? They have used this letter to clear their name, to exonerate themselves to exculpate themselves, to clear them, whatever word you want to use. Now we're supposed to believe that they had nothing to do with it. It was all, see, we tried to tell you, we told you a long time. The Nation of Islam had nothing to do with this. There they go back. It wasn't the FOI that killed Malcolm X. It was the FBI. They're going to fall back on that. What we produce in the series stands on its own. It stands on its own. It doesn't need these new revelations, okay, for support, okay? It does support these new revelations if proven true. And I keep putting that caveat in there. If proven true, all they do is substantiate what we have independently established in the series, that 3 independent bodies had their own powerful motives for murdering our brother, El Hajj Malik El Shabazz Malcolm X. Okay? We'll just say it like this. Once you establish the facts that Al-Mustafa Shabazz, William X. Bradley, all right, allegedly fired this shotgun that took the life of Malcolm X. Okay? A man who has a family, a man who has children, a man who is part of a community, and no one in the family, no one in the community, no public official, no one in an entire year has issued one denial. No one has come to the man's defense. Not one. But yet the Nation of Islam, who and this man was a soldier in Muhammad's Mosque number 25. He was a lieutenant. Okay? And the other shooters were also FOI. And Benjamin Thomas, whose picture I just published day before yesterday, Benjamin Thomas was the assistant secretary of Mosque number 25, and his official title, his official position that gave kind of the sanction of the hit being coming from the higher ups. All right, because he was an official. And that's what Talmadge Hayer believed. Well, the assistant secretary of the mosque is involved in this. Therefore, it must come up from higher up. But he wasn't asking too many questions. All right. So when we establish that in the series, and when it's known that, certain actors participated in this, right? Follow me. If we are to sometime later learn that there were other participants involved, does that clear the known culprits for what they did? Right? So we know that Gene Roberts, the other boss operative, who gave Malcolm life a month-to-month resuscitation. Okay, we know he's there, right? He's there. So we find out that there's another Gene Roberts type figure. Let's say his name, for example, is Ray Wood. Does that clear the Nation of Islam for their role in what they did? How does the release of this letter exonerate the Nation of Islam's role? How? How do you do that? How do you get from here to there? I mean, what kind of zany logic are you using? What's going on here? All right? What's going on? And unfortunately, this is what's happening. You have a full-throated propaganda campaign underway right now to say that the Nation of Islam had nothing to do with the assassination based upon the release of this Ray Wood letter. Okay? And, you know, Malcolm X used to say that after he left the nation, that he would never become so committed to any ideology, right? He would never become so committed that he would not recognize new information, right? New facts that may have to cause him to change his thinking. Okay? He said he would never allow himself to be put in a straitjacket, intellectual straitjacket, ever again. All right? However, you have these NOI people and the government killed Malcolm. All right? And when they say the government killed Malcolm, they say only the government killed Malcolm because they don't want black folks' hands in it at all. So they said the government killed Malcolm, and the Nation of Islam is just they're just a branch of that ideology. They're so committed to that ideologically, all right, that they deny facts, they deny truth, they deny reality to the point to where they sound delusional. They sound delusional, all right? And all I can say to them is, look, it's a sad thing when you can't own up to the truth, right? The best thing these folks should do is just apologize for it. Just apologize. Apologize for what you did. I mean, most of the people today that are in the Nation of Islam weren't even born in those days. You know what I mean? So I don't know why they go so 10 toes deep on this. We had nothing to do with it. I mean, you guys weren't born. These people weren't part of the nation at that time. So, I mean, just admit it and go forward, right? But they won't do that. They won't do that. They want to go on, a campaign of deceit, a campaign of mendacity, right? A campaign that is totally disingenuous, all right? For what? To stand by a lie? That the nation had no hand in it? No. No, we can't accept that. And, that's a commitment to ideology. That's a commitment to, a cult or a sect or something. You know what I mean? Brainwashing. It's kind of brainwashing. I'm going to wrap this up because I didn't want to go too long, but I just wanted to say this as well. Brothers and sisters, look, there have been, detractors of the series. There's been detractors of me and my work. What I'd like to say about that is this. Before we started publishing the results of our research, the assassination of Malcolm X was a dead letter issue. It was a dead letter issue, meaning it was frozen in the history books, okay? Even though the account in the history books, the vast majority of them, was not true. As we say in the series, the official account of who killed Malcolm X is not true, okay? Before we started publishing our research, nobody was talking about the assassination of Malcolm X. Even, all due respect to the scholars and the writers who did good work many years ago, all due respect to all of them. I give respect to all of the brothers and sisters who did good work on this. But there hadn't been a breakthrough in the assassination of Malcolm X. There hadn't been any new work done in 45 years. At least 30 years. At least. Okay? Maybe the last book written was close to 30 years ago on the assassination of Malcolm X. Wasn't anything going on. It was a dead letter. Whenever I would bring it up, people thought I was crazy. You still working on that? You still involved in that? Where's that going? You know, I mean, brother, you know what I mean? No one got it. Up until 2010, 45 years of the assassination of Malcolm X, since the assassination of Malcolm X, with the exception of Talmadge Hayer, we didn't even know what the other assassins even looked like. Okay? Up until 2010. All right? Until your brother came along with his research. All right? And started trying to get it published and what have you. All right? And today we know what 4 of the 5 of them look like. All right? And we'll soon know what they all look like. That's how dead letter it was. Even in the series, you see Imam Earl Sadiq, he said, the assassination of Malcolm, it's in the history books. Leave it there. You saw him say that. That's what everybody said. That's what everybody said. Now we have one of the most explosive stories in America right now. My phone has been blowing off I've been getting calls from Great Britain. I've been getting calls from all over the world, really. All over the world. All right? That's why you haven't seen me on Facebook or what have you. I just had to collect my thoughts and say what I was going to say. All right? A story that was dead in the history books is now one of the greatest stories in America right now. And we're thankful to Allah for giving us the success to bring this research forward. So, I say that because, last couple of days I've seen people, little videos here, little videos there, people taking shots at your brother. He ain't this, he ain't that. And that's okay. Maybe I'm not this, maybe I'm not that. But, give me a little credit. Give me a little credit. Why do we do this? I don't know. I don't know why we do this to one another, brother. It's been a long road. And so we're very thankful. We're very appreciative. I may not even leave this video up that long. If you want to share it, go ahead and share it. Again, I want to thank everyone for the support that they've extended to me. Let me see. But what did the truth, dog? You forever respectful in my book. Oh, thank you, brother. Damani Johnson is watching. Chris Lakes. Folks, I want you to know I really appreciate all your support, especially the financial support that you give through the Cashapp. It's much appreciated. It really does help me. It really does help me. You just don't even know. And we hope that, we can get these men exonerated sooner rather than later. Brother Muhammad Abdulaziz is 82 years old. How long will these people, drag this out? How much more has to come out? Exonerate these men. That's the right thing to do. Congratulations. Thank you. When is your book coming out? Inshallah, soon. God willing. I appreciate all the support. Thank you for your service. All right, with that, brothers and sisters, those are the main points that I just wanted to make. Let's see what becomes of all of this. We hope the best. These are very explosive revelations. And all they will prove, just to wrap it up, all they will prove, if they bear out to be sound, all they will prove is what we have already established and already proven in who killed Malcolm X. Who killed Malcolm X stands on its own. And I believe it will stand the test of time. And it is already trending again. Can you believe that? A year later, it's trending again. All praise is due to Allah. And that is because of you, and that is because of the brothers and sisters who love Malcolm so much. And, you know, it's a great honor to have played a small role in this. And so I ask that you make prayer for me, say a prayer for your brother, and if you want to send me a little something, I'd appreciate that as well. With that, I'm going to bring it to a close. Some brother said the hate is making you popular. I wish it wasn't hate, man. I'm going to tell you the truth, though. I saw some hate this weekend against you, against the brother, man, against your brother. And I said, what did I do to anybody? What did I do? There was nothing going on. There was nothing going on before I published my stuff. I didn't take anything from anybody, right? But very plausible. Gregory theories were over. But these comments move so fast. Possible, but not very plausible, some brother said. Keeping you in prayer for protection, brother. You keep exposing the lies of the devil. Yeah, man. I tried to. All right. Okay, then. Let me wrap it up. Hey, you guys, you have a good night. Let's stay positive. Let's see where this goes. We really need to blow this case wide open. We need to know everything. They need to come clean with all of these files, with all of these documents. Whatever they're hiding, they need to bring it out, man. They need to bring it out, and they need to clear these brothers who are still alive with us in the land of the living. Clear all of these men. They deserve it. Enough is enough. Okay, my brothers and sisters. You have a good night. It's your good brother, Abdul Rahman Muhammad, and I'm going to see you next time. All right? Good night.